Hey guys, welcome back to Meta Legal Chess, and in this video we are going to see what is space advantage and how do you convert it. You can clearly feel that white has a very strong pawns on d4 and e5, and these pawns are literally dominating the dark square bishop. The pawn is dominating the knight and his knight is doing nothing on the rim. That's pretty much dim, and our position is just very good. We can feel the space advantage, but the point, how do you convert it? A sequence of moves to maneuver your pieces just to create a very devastating, unstoppable, and crushing attack. This game is played by the Indian Grandmaster Ronak Sadhwani, the prodigy from Maharashtra, that's a state in India. And yeah, the game's against Niccolo Casadio. So why to play, guys? I'll reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1. All right. So basically, white has done a good job of securing their space advantage, and black has no pressure on the center pawns. Now the next step is to maneuver the pieces towards the king side. Boom. Queen d2. First things first, we just improve our queen, making sure that the pawn is attacked. He must play king h7. There's no other good move. If he pushes the pawn, that's even more weakening, and that's GG. This and next, the very nice move, very key move, targeting and improving the bishop to a very good diagonal. Bishop f1. With the idea of going bishop d3, making sure there's a pin on the g6 pawn, and then playing h5, dominating one. And let's go. Queen d8 was played. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you're literally going back to your home place. That's a very sad move to make. But unfortunately, you have to do that. Just going back home, and some trouble there for sure. Bishop d3, rerouting the bishop. Queen a5, again just a random bluff. I don't know what he's doing, he can't do anything anyways. h5, the game is over, the king's coming to g1, the rook's coming to h1. White targets the g6 pin pawn, and we just make that thing, and there's assault on black's king. And now, let me show you the game. This is the position, the game is essentially over. But this game, which is very nice, and let me show it to you. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, there you go. Okay, my bad. Yes, there you go. E4, E6, Queen E2, C5. This is the French defense. I mean, everybody knows Matt plays that, and it's a very nice opening. Queen E2, a tricky variation to play against French defense. C5 transferring into the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, bishop g2, all the standard stuff. King's Indian attack, premature h4, but doesn't matter. It transposes to some good line anyways. c3 with the idea of playing d4. Ronak does that, sacrificing a pawn. His opponent doesn't capture the pawn because in the end, this pawn h6 will be hanging, which would be pretty weak for the king. d5 and this move, e5, locking in the center. The knight comes to f5, which is good, but you're going to play rook d1, queen b6. A mistake, I would say. Queen d3, protecting the pawn, and now the queen is not on this diagonal, so the knight will be kicked away because the knight would attack h4, but now it's not possible, and you can kick the knight by g4. Knight c3, simple development, attacking the queen, we go back. Rook c8, pressure, bishop e3, strengthening the center. Rook c1, making sure all pieces play to the game. a5, trying to expand on the queen side, kicking the knight and stopping his a3 break, going back, and now the winning position comes. Pretty dominating, simple logic. Queen d2, bishop f1, the game's over. Queen a5 back, h5, game is over. b5, trying to generate some desperate counterplay. King g2, simple idea. b4, you don't care, you just capture that pawn. But you don't give away that bishop, because that bishop is going to be a very crucial piece in the attacking. Go back, bishop b1, preserve that bishop. God knows what's going to happen, but you're just preserving your bishop. Rook h8, making sure to get some defensive pieces in the game, but it's just too late. Rook h1, king runs to g8, pawn opens, and then you get the free pawn here, trying to generate some counterplay, but we just capture the pawn, there's nothing. c3 knight might be in trouble, but it's not. Queen g5 with the idea of queen f6, knight comes to d3, queen f6 check, 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 rook h1, and then knight comes to f4, desperate attempt, you can't do anything. I mean, if you go knight g6, then I'm going to go bishop d3. So capture, capture anyways, you give away that boom, and boom, rook h8, game over. Simple, rook h8, resign. If you go here, then queen h6 is a checkmate. If you capture, then here, and a very standard pattern like this, boom, 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 checkmate, GG. Game over in 19 moves, I would say. The queen d2 and bishop f1, the game is already over. 20 moves, game over. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned a very quick lesson on how do you improve and gain space advantage. Thanks for watching. See you soon.